Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? Let me know. So, today we're going to get into the video that's been highly awaited. I got many requests and I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Today I'm going to share with all of you how I scored 179 on the ISAT and was able to get offers at Monash, Western Sydney and Tasmania, which are the universities that take ISAT. So I'll be going through what the ISAT is, preparation tips, the pattern, important tips you should be having. So let's get into it. A little background into ISAT. So ISAT stands for International Students Admissions Test, and it's the test given by international students for entry into medicine, dentistry and veterinary programs and occupational therapy and language therapy courses around Australia, Estonia and Ireland. So those of you who are giving ISAT this year, you would already know, but for those who don't know, registration is already open and there will be 4 windows as always. So the first window is the one which is coming up soon from 13 to 24 January. Test window number 2 from 28th April to 9th May. Test window 3 from 28th July to 8th August. Test window 4 from 27th October to 7th November. So if you're applying for entry into medicine for the next intake, that's in 2026, go get yourself registered now or whenever the timeline is and see which test window you want to take it. So you can only give ISAT once in a year and you can repeat it only after 12 months has lapsed. So it's really important for you to prepare really well because there are no retakes. So these are the universities which accept ISAT for entry into the respective courses. So what is ISAT? Have you heard of it? I initially never heard of this test until I started looking into applying to Australia. So what is ISAT? So ISAT is a 3-hour computer-based test. It consists of 100 multiple choice questions and you need to answer them within 3 hours. There are 2 sections, critical reasoning and quantitative reasoning. Critical reasoning will have 50 questions and quantitative reasoning will have 50 questions. So it's equally split. So what does ISAT really test? So ISAT's not there to test your academic knowledge of subjects like maths or sciences. That's already tested in your year 12 marks, which makes already one component of your application process. But here ISAT is here to see how you think, how you're able to understand and analyze material. You may need to read a passage and interpret the author's point of view. So it's a little more like analytical kind of exam. So coming back to the 2 sections of ISAT. So critical reasoning, there you'll be having to comprehend texts. It could be passages, it could be poems, it could be a comic, and you'll be needing to understand the underlying idea, the author's opinion, and it can get really complex. And these questions use materials from like humanities and social sciences. Quantitative reasoning is more about analysis and application of information, concluding and making decisions, and solving problems. These come from mathematics and sciences. So QR, you will have like maybe graphs, complex mathematical puzzles, area-based questions. So it's really important for you to kind of clear up on those concepts. A sample of the types of question patterns you will see in the 2 sections. So in critical reasoning, there will maybe picture-based questions, like they might give you a picture and then they'll tell you to answer some question based on that, where you need to have like really introspect into the picture. It might be poem-based. You might get a poem from any author and there'll be questions based on that, implications of certain words, implication of certain sentences, deeper meaning questions. Comics, they can be passage based, like your usual UCAT questions, verbal reasoning questions, and there can be some really complex data and you may be made to be drawn conclusions from it. quantitative reasoning, you can have Venn diagrams, really complex puzzles. So don't get frightened by seeing these question types. The way to tackle ISAT is, first, it's really important for you to make a plan. That plan, first, how many questions will you daily do? And first start with untimed. Do questions untimed, then slowly move to time practice, then move to doing practice tests, and mark yourself. And when you mark yourself, do not just throw that test score somewhere. Make sure to review each and every question you got wrong so you do not make those mistakes again. So some general tips for tackling the ISAT. So it's really important for you to not spend too much time on one question. So pacing yourself, so you should be having an eye on the timer. So like by 1.5 hours of the exam, you should have been done with 50 questions. It's really important for you because timing is very important in admissions test. Sometimes you don't even realize how fast the time goes. Very important in admissions test. Sometimes you don't even realize how fast the time goes. There'll be always a stimulus material and then questions based on that. So make sure you keep reading the stimulus a few times in your head before you go to the question, because I myself have made the mistake of just jumping into the question and I've completely read the question wrong. Make sure read all the answer choices. Sometimes we just go, oh yeah, this is the answer. But no, it might be the other one. There might be two options who are very similar to each other, and there is just a thin difference between the both of them. So make sure you read all the options before picking. And sometimes you might not know the answer. So do not waste time on that question. There are all questions in the exam weigh equally. So doing one question will not really, so just mark it and review it later. We do not want to waste time on questions that we don't really have a chance of getting marks. It's really important to not leave any questions unmarked because there is no negative marking. So what's the harm? So just guess something, mark it, flag it, and then come back to it later. So major tips from what I did was I did massive amount of question banks to get familiar with the questions. I used to do like questions. And that's the only way to tackle ISAT. And also when you do your questions, you realize which kind of topics you are really struggling with, and specifically go and refer back to those topics and work on that specific question type. If you're good at maybe comics, then there's no need of wasting time on that. Focus on maybe poems analysis. Maybe that's where you need to. So focus on your weaknesses and a lot less time to your strengths. One thing is, I would say if you don't have a reading habit, make it a habit. You need to be able to learn to analyze text and also learn how to read really quickly. For QR, I would say get very familiar with arithmetics, get very familiar with your basic formulae, know how to approach puzzle-based questions, try to break it down step by step. Last, do not burn yourself out. When I say do massive amount of questions, it's not do massive amount of questions in one day. You build it step by step. Give yourself a certain, like whether you want 1 month or 2 months of practice, and then slowly build it up. Don't do too many questions one day. Spread it across each day. Also make sure to take some time out to relax, spend time with family, go out, go shopping, take time to relax, do your hobbies. So what is your practice material that's available? So I know, and you also know, that ISAT preparation material is very limited. So what I would recommend is definitely buy the practice test you get on ASER, because it's the official pattern of the exam. It will give you a really hands-on feeling of what the exam will be like. So to buy it, you'll definitely need to make an account. And the practice 1 test is 16 AUD, practice test 2 is 19 AUD. So definitely get that. And I would say look for question banks and purchase them if you want to. More the practice, the better. And that's all I have for you guys today. So my advice to you, stay calm, stay motivated, and get to your goal. All the very best to everyone. And I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you found it helpful. Bye everyone.